So you're listening because you want to really get the facts about what you put in your body, right? You want that knowledge, but maybe without needing a PhD in nutrition to understand it all.
Exactly.
And that's why we're here. Today, we're taking a deep dive into, well, a green that everyone's heard of, kale. It's got this huge reputation, like this nutritional powerhouse status. And we're using this article, Kale, the leafy green superfood, plus 3 easy DIY recipes to try today, as our guide. It even says, nourish your body 1 leaf at a time.
Yeah, and I think our goal here, is to get past just saying kale is healthy. We really want to pull out some of the key takeaways about its benefits and maybe, more importantly, give you some genuinely easy ways to actually eat it, like unlocking its potential without all the complicated stuff.
Okay, yeah, that powerhouse label, it does get used a lot. This source, it just jumps right in, calling kale one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. That's a big claim.
It is a big claim.
What really makes it earn that? Is it just like a bit of everything good packed in there?
Well, I think what's really fascinating is the density you mentioned. It's not just a sprinkle of vitamins. It's really a concentrated load of essential vitamins, yes, but also antioxidants and even compounds that actively help your body's own detox processes. So think of it less like getting one benefit and more like getting this, multi-pronged boost to your well-being from just one vegetable. The source mentions things like helping your immune system, boosting energy, strengthening bones. Pretty fundamental stuff, really.
Right. And when it talks about being rich in vitamins and minerals, are we talking tiny amounts or are there some real standouts? It mentions A, C, and K specifically. That vitamin K fact, over 100% of your daily needs in just 1 cup. That sounds, well, almost too good to be true.
It's actually a really significant amount. And vitamin K is it's vital, not just for bones, which we often link with calcium, right?
Yeah.
But also for making sure your blood clots properly. So yeah, 1 serving of kale gives you a major boost there. And beyond those headliners, ACK, it also gives you decent amounts of other key minerals, things like calcium, magnesium, potassium. These are all crucial for everything from like muscle function to keeping blood pressure in check. It's quite a package.
Okay. Now, detoxifying and anti-inflammatory. These are definitely wellness buzzwords, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
When we talk about kale doing that, what's actually happening inside the body?
So the source mentions these things called glucosinolates. They're naturally in kale and other veggies like broccoli. What's interesting is how our body uses them. When you chew kale or digest it, these compounds break down into other things that actually support your liver. The liver's our main detox organ, so it helps it do its job more efficiently. And then you've got the antioxidants. The source specifically names quercetin and kaempferol. Think of these like little bodyguards, basically. They go around neutralizing these unstable molecules, free radicals, that can cause inflammation and oxidative stress. And that kind of stress is linked to a lot of chronic health issues.
Interesting. And it's not just internal stuff, right? What about eye health?
Yeah.
It mentions lutein and zeaxanthin. Feel like I've seen those on supplement bottles for vision.
Exactly. You probably have. They're carotenoids, pigments with really strong antioxidant powers, and they happen to collect in high concentrations in your macula, which is like the central part of your retina. What's really compelling is that research consistently shows that getting more lutein and zeaxanthin seems linked to a lower risk of macular degeneration and cataracts as we age.
Wow.
Yeah, so eating kale regularly will actually be a pretty smart food-first approach to looking after your eyesight long-term.
Okay, moving down the list.
Yeah.
Digestion and gut health. The source points to fiber. Now, we all kind of know fiber helps with, regularity. But does kale do anything special beyond just keeping things moving?
Well, the high fiber is definitely key for, preventing constipation and keeping you regular. That's true. But there's another layer here. The source says it feeds healthy gut bacteria.
Oh, right, the microbiome.
Exactly. This is such a huge area of research now. We're finding out just how much those trillions of little microbes in our gut affect everything: digestion, immunity, even mood. Fiber, like the kind in kale, acts as fuel or a prebiotic for these good bacteria. It helps them flourish.
That's fascinating. And okay, lastly, heart health. It links kale's anti-inflammatory side and its potential to lower bad cholesterol, the LDL. How does that work?
Well, that chronic inflammation we talked about, it's now really understood as a major player in heart disease development.
Right.
So by potentially helping to calm down inflammation system-wide, kale could indirectly support your heart. Plus, some studies suggest that certain compounds and the fiber in kale might actually bind to cholesterol in your gut, which could lead to lower LDL, that bad cholesterol, in your blood. And that's a
Mm.
known risk factor.
Okay, so the evidence really does seem to stack up. Kale kind of earns its superfood title, it sounds like.
Seems that way, yeah.
But, knowing it's good for you, that's only half the job, isn't it? Actually eating it is the other half.
Absolutely.
And this source gives 3 pretty simple-sounding DIY recipes. Let's look at the first one. Kale and avocado salad with lemon herb dressing. Avocado and kale, that's like a health food power couple right there.
It really is. And what's smart about this recipe, I think, is it tackles that texture issue some people have with raw kale. It tells you to massage the chopped kale with a bit of salt.
Massage the kale.
Really?
Yeah. It sounds weird, but it genuinely helps break down those tough fibers. Makes it much softer, much nicer in a salad. Then you mash the avocado with lemon juice, olive oil, bit of honey, or maple syrup for sweetness. That makes the dressing. The creaminess of the avocado is great. Plus, you get healthy fats, which actually help you absorb some of kale's vitamin.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then maybe add some seeds like sunflower or hemp for a bit of crunch. Simple, but effective. Okay, that massaging tip. I
Yeah.
can see how that would make a difference.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, it can be a bit chewy.
Definitely a game changer for raw kale salads.
All right, second recipe. Green Time Wellness Kale Smoothie. Smoothies are kind of my go-to for getting nutrients in fast.
Yeah.
What's the deal with this one?
This one leans into simplicity, I'd say. You blend the kale, fresh or frozen works, with sweet fruits like frozen banana and pineapple. That sweetness is really key to mellowing out any potential bitterness from the kale, especially if you're, new to it.
Makes sense.
Then add some chia or flax seeds for extra fiber and omega-3s. Use coconut water or maybe almond milk as the liquid. Oh, and it suggests optional ginger, which adds a nice little cereazine and has its own anti-inflammatory perks. It's a really flexible recipe, too. You could easily swap fruits or liquids depending on what you like or have on hand.
Yeah, adaptable is good. And finally, DIY crispy kale chips.
Yeah.
Okay, who doesn't love a crunchy snack?
Right.
This sounds like a much healthier swap for, like, potato chips.
Yeah.
Are they actually easy to make?
Surprisingly easy, seriously. The absolute most important thing is getting the kale completely dry after you wash it.
Ah, okay. Why is that?
Because any water left on the leaves will make them steam in the oven instead of getting crispy. You'll end up with soggy disappointment.
Got it. Dry kale.
Dry kale.
Yeah.
Then you just tear it into chip-sized pieces, toss it with a tiny bit of olive or avocado oil, and some sea salt. And you can add other spices too, like garlic powder, smoked paprika. Nutritional yeast is popular for a cheesy kind of flavor.
Oh, nice.
Then just spread it out on a baking sheet, single layer, bake it, flip halfway maybe until it's nice and brittle. Super satisfying crunch.
Okay, I might actually try that one. Sounds doable.
It really is.
So it really feels like this source does a good job bridging that gap, between kale is healthy and here's how you actually eat it easily.
Yeah, I agree.
The final thoughts in the article kind of nail that, saying kale is more than just a trendy green, calling it a wellness staple.
Exactly. It just highlights how versatile it is. Blend it, bake it, massage it into a salad. There are lots of ways to work it into your meals pretty regularly. It's not about some massive diet overhaul. It's more about making these consistent, positive additions, like adding nutrient-packed foods like kale to support your overall health.
Okay, so we've definitely done a deep dive here into this source on kale. It's pretty clear there's a lot more substance to it than just being a passing health fad.
Absolutely, yeah. And, it kind of brings up an interesting point for you listening right now. We've covered quite a range of potential benefits. Boosting vitamins, helping detox, maybe supporting eye health, gut health, heart health. And we've looked at 3 really practical ways to get it into your diet. So the question for you is, which of those things kind of clicks with you most right now? Is maybe the energy aspect, a better digestion, or maybe you're just thinking, hey, those kale chips sound good? Just maybe take a moment to think about that. Perhaps this conversation sparked an idea for how you could start nourishing your body maybe one kale leaf at a time in a way that actually works for your life.